This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move.
我们在那个427办公桌，这是我们办公桌。这电脑好老哦，还是用那个 CRT 萤幕的电脑。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
我们选择左边的门。哎呦，门关上了。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
老板办公室在楼上，这边应该是秘书的位置吧？看一下秘书工作都在干嘛。秘书有2个分机耶。
Stanley was once again
关门声吓我一跳。
indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
2845
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
老板设了一个密码2845，可是旁白的意思是要我们去按的意思吗？老板办公室里面的也太多猪了吧
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2845
28. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
这是老板的那个秘密通道。电梯向下，电梯门要关了。
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
工作的本质是什么？为了赚钱。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
精神控制设施 Escape 这边有个那个逃跑路啊。不过我们还是继续向前好了。有个灯泡，还有一大堆表格。
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
这圆形建筑物，这边有个摄影机的标示，按下去。
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
我们都被监视
of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley
我们上班的时候都被监视着，都被老板监视。
freedom meant nothing.
这是电梯向上的按钮啊。
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
有一个小小的电梯耶。
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
所以我们要
But here was the proof. The
测试
heart
电
of
梯
the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the
所以我们要
controls
毁了
once
这个设
and
施了。
for all.
我们要怎么毁这个设施？系统电源，你把它按关吧。我们让大家自由，可是我也想要让大家回来。我们这一轮先按 off 好了，关掉。关掉了，然后呢？
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange man know? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
各位下班啦！门还没开耶。
Whatever life he lives, it will be his, and that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
终于下班了的意思吗？
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
好啦，第二轮我们来看一下，不行。
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such.
他说我们点门没有用啊。
5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
点门点20下可以得到认可。 我点20下了。
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause.
50下。
Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
50下吗？来挑战。
A few moments later.
50下。
No,
哎呦
I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost.
跟
Why
他
don't
拼
you
了，
go put
对啊，
20
我按
clicks
50
into
下。
door number 417?
417按20下，哎，417吗？417的门按20下，可是我们这里没有417啊。我的办公室427嘛，427是最小的办公室了吧？417，417在其他间吗？也有可能哦，417我往前啊，417在这按20下，20下了。
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
到437的门按几下？哎，437这里。
Excellent. I
Thank
think
you.
we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415按10下，你被他动摇，对啊，我被他挑衅到了。我要去415按10下，415这里按10下。
Now, back to door number 437.
然后赶快回到437这里，437。
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
去点复印机，这个吗 ？Copy machine。
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
赶快回到417这里，
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
爬到419的桌子上，哎，这里啊，
Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
到416的门点几下？416，哎，416，哦，416还在更前面。可以不要理这些指令，可以啊。可是我现在就很想要知道它这些
We've
指令可以干嘛
almost。got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again.
我们的 copy machine 哎，
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430.
43号房按5下，
Yes, we did it.
有成就哎。
That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it.
他跳出来一个
Nothing
成
could
就
hold you back. But I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks.
对啊，我到底在干嘛？
What were you thinking?
我到底在想什么？天哪！哎，有杂物室可以开。
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
水
There was
桶，
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
还真的没什么
reason to
东
still
西
be
耶。
here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to
身为一个
interact
维
with,
修
he'd
工
be
人，
justified in some way. As it is, he's
应该是
literally
身
just
为一个
standing there
汽车维修
doing
工，
sweet
随
FA.
身携带一个扳手是很合理的事情。真的没东西可以拿
Are
吗
you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
对啊，
Please
我还
offer me
正
some
在
explanation
杂物
here.
室。
I'm genuinely confused. You do
没有东
realize
西
there's
可以
no
用。
choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching
可以跟
path.
朋友炫耀。
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite."
杂物室
I
结
hope your
局，
friends find this concerning.
真的有这种杂物室结局吗？
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
他在骂我们了。
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
我看看我们继续待在这边，旁白会在说什么？
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
他居然说我们死
You're
了。
dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system.
我就倒在
and you
键盘
collapsed
旁。
on the keyboard. Well, in a situation
他
like
居然
that,
说我们玩家
the
死了
responsible。thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she
电脑
has fallen
前面的
prey
人
to
死
any
了。
number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
我出来啦。
Second player, it's good to have you on board.
Second
I
player.
guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
我们变成2号玩家，我们原本那个玩家已经死了。
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A
有人
fish,
找猴子来
fungus.
来替我操
You can
作。
hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
我看一下其他房间。执行官浴室，这有浴室哎，哇！可以进去看一下浴室吗？我看到了，偷来的钱当然不是你的。要我说，啊，是那可爱的钱包，什么意思啊？我看到了，偷来的钱当然不是你的。要说是那可爱的钱包，什么钱包？电梯向下，这边也有电梯。哎呦，还有音乐，这电梯好高级哦，居然还会放音乐。
Later.
我们电梯搭好久哦，
1 hour later.
搭到什么时候
2 hours later.
这也搭太久了吧？
3 hours later.
哎呦，我们这一栋楼到底是多高啊？天哪！我都可以从101一楼搭到顶楼去了。
Tomorrow.
哎呦哎呦，到了吗？到了吗？这里是哪？哎，还是原本的？原本哎，这不是原本的吗？原本那一层楼啊。我现在电梯向下。
6 months later.
哎，还是同一层啊？哎，当然有变吗？有变吗？
3,000 years later.
我之前玩的时候好像只玩过2、3个结局，然后这个电梯里面我好像没有印象。网络上的攻略我也没看过，所以我不确定这边到底有没有结局。还是一样的地方啊？哎，这真的到底有没有结局啊？这里。
And when at last he found the source of the room's power. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
还是离线啊？
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it
我们
go.
不是按开了吗
Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation.
智慧系统为什么
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification,
核弹就会
detonators are set to
爆炸
explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
2分钟
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
哎
Your time
靠
to
背啊
shine.
什么东西
You are the star. It's your story now.
哎
Shape it to your
我不是只是
heart's
打开
desires. Oh, this is
心灵
much
控制
better
系
than
统
what
而
I
已
had
吗
in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each
GG
one
了
of them is.
什么
More
什么
time to
按黄
talk
色
about you, about me, where we're going.
啊
What all this means. I
黄色
barely know where to start.
黄
What's
色
that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of
这不是
solace
黄色
before
吗
you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna
Eh,
die
eh,
anyway.
eh, eh,
I'll tell
eh.
you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course,
黄
that
色
was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons
黄色
endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground,
黄色
swallowing everyone inside,
还是黄色
or I let it burn to a
这我
crisp.
每个都要按黄色
I
吗
say this though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make
都是
sense
哎呦
of
哎呦
everything,
我
take back the
哎
control
哎
wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost
Eh?
hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go around
黄
will
色
be
这
even
橘
better.
色
My goodness,
是橘色还是
only
黄色
34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
哎呦哎呦哎呦
These
哎
are
呦
precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time
他
doesn't
不让我
go
出
on
去了
trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it
Eh?
that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that
我不是应该可以把它
timer
关
that
掉吗
something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button
应该
to
是绕一
button,
圈看顺序
screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe
Eh?
this big red button, or this door. Everything.
哎我觉得
Something
旁白开
that
始
will
太
save me. Why would you think
旁白这样子讲我就觉得好像应该是没有
One
不是
sold?
不是照旁白这样讲
Any idea what your purpose
没有人说你可以关掉啊
Stanley.
哎呀可恶啊我被旁白笑啊
But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene.
哎呦
For every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine.
蓝
But I'm
色
going to destroy it first, so you can't.
再见员工
Take a look at
427
the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds. You
Eh?
have to strike. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No end.
怎么回事啊
Will you cling
18秒17秒了哎呦天哪天哪天哪等下
Another choice. Make it count. Oh,
哎
it's all the same to me. All a part of the joke.
关不掉
And
吗
believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade
关掉
in
关掉
until
关掉
the
关掉
moment
我
I
要
say,
啊不要啊所以嘞爆炸了哇真的爆炸哎我们重来了我们这一次来
Stanley
走
walked straight ahead
走那
through the
个
large door that read
逃生这个
Mind Control Facility.
escape 我们走这个逃生通道要跳下去吗哎呦就直接跳到不知道跳到哪里去了
The eyeballs from a blind man.
哇
So he
我们会被压扁呢
willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
哇等
Stanley,
我们会被压扁吗
Farewell, Stanley. cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into
旁白换成
the
女生嘞。
jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
我们掉下来了。
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
这边好像那个博物馆，它做的很像博物馆。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. A wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
我们杂物室被钉起来了啦！我不能进去杂物室了。然后我们先往下走吧。
But Stanley just
有一台车
He considered
这
the
也是停车
possibility
场
of
吗？
facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he
地下室好
believed
多东西哦，
everyone
还有
had
贩卖机
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out
我
of
们疯
existence
了吗？
in a single moment
Stanley 是
for
疯
no
了。
reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet?
往下看看不到自己的脚。
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
门后身后的门都会自动关
These
上。
rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeated?
所有房间都在循环吗？
No, Stanley said to himself, this is
我们又
all
看到一样的
too
车
strange.
嘞
This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the
这是不是
totally
loop 啦？我们
just
被
hadn't found the words
被
for
困
it.
在那个
I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all
被
a
困在
dream.
循环的那个空间里面
What
了
a。relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job.
我们在
He
做梦
wasn't
吗？
crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and
我在
began
飞
to
行。
gently float above the ground.
我真的
Then
飞起来
he
嘞
imagined！ himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared.
哎呦哎呦哎
It
呦！
was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
是怎么
How
回
was
事
he？ remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked
我们
himself
刚
sooner.
刚穿过
Why
奇
is
怪
there
的
a
空间，
voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was
还说
describing
旁白。
itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now.
哦，我们旁白这一次话好多哦，天啊！
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
我是一场梦
He knew
吗
for？ certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this
证明
was
什么？
a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
哇，
He felt the
我
cool
们
weight
闭
of
上
the
眼。
blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
我们要醒过来了吗？这真的是一场梦。
he thought to himself.
梦到自己还在工作，真的很可怜。
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
一个正常普
Everything
通
will be
人。
fine. I am okay.
我们醒来了吗？
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please,
我可以往后
just
走吗？
someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I?
啊，画面开始变红了。
And
What?
everything went black.
哎，所以我们疯了吗？史丹利疯了。
This is the story of a woman named
这是什
Mariella.
么？玛丽埃拉？
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the
哎，所以我们
sidewalk.
史丹利
Though she would soon turn to go call for an
这是被
ambulance,
被车撞了还
in
是怎
a
样？
brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what
史丹利
crazy
死
people
掉
look
了，
like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
所以这个世界还是有其他人
I
啊。
am in control of my mind.
这世界上
I know
还是有
what
其
is
他人
real。and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
我们这次走右边好了。
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
员工
perfectly
休息
well.
室。
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all,
这员工
just
休
to
息
spend
室
a
啊。
few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
门左边这边有那
And
个
so
吗？
he detoured through the
下楼的
maintenance
地方。
section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
这边下楼不知道可以到哪里。
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
左边，我们只能够走左边的门。
Oh, no.
哎呀，干
No,
靠
that's
背
to
哦
the right, my mistake.
啊！他开始在耍我们呢。
No,
Ah.
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
哎，旁白开始在耍我们了。
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
哎，变铁卷门了。这边下去吗？哎，他怎么还是来到这里？
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here.
你被
yet.
剧透了。
This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just
我们又来到这里
to
了。
oh,
可是我们现在在楼上。
it's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense,
我们要重新
we'll
开
just
始
restart
啊
the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
哎，旁白强制把我们重新启动。 哎，
Stanley, wait.
等一下，为什么两扇门变这样了？
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over completely.
两扇门
fresh.
变好多
Everything
扇
should
门
be-
哦。
Oh, did something change? Stanley, Did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago.
我们不能回去吗？
It's here somewhere. Okay.
我们一样走右边的门。
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
哎呦，
Let's
门都
find
打开了
the。story.
我们要去哪一扇门？最右边的。要往哪里走？哎，靠北是不是又循环了？这里是不是又循环了？好像是又循环嘞。
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story.
好，再重启一次。
Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why
旁
not?
白又要帮我们重启游戏了。
Okay,
靠北啊，这次连门都没有了。
wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other
回
direction
头嘞，
and see if we missed anything?
我们现在要回头。
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
哎，有这个，
No, wait.
Eh?
Never mind. Not the story.
哎
Okay,，
那我
let's
们的
head
办
back
公
the
室
other
嘞？
way and retrace our steps.
我们办公室怎么不见了？这蓝色地毯应该不是我们来的地方啊！哎，我们好像又被旁白给耍了。
Now this...
这里是哪？
Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
全部都变木头
Do you
地
remember,
板。
Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
You win!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
连我们来的地方都不见了
Oh, no.
那个门都不见。
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
画风突
Okay?
变。
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place
又要
is.
重启
I
了
don't。care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
靠背哦！啊，这是直接给我们划线呐、
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
这边不是应该要向前走吗？这里应该是要向前走，怎么会突然向右？这条线
See?
跟那个，
The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction.
这不是我们
Onward, Stanley, to
经常走的
destiny.
路线啊。
Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way,
我们
is
现在
the
是要
story
往
of
哪里
no
走？
destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to
问号
apologize.
问号问号问
Not
号
sure，where I was going with all that.
这
You
条
know
线
what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
啊？看什么植物？
Stanley,
Look.
this fern will be very important later in the story. Make
旁
sure
边是不是
you
在骗
study
我
it
们？
closely and
骗。
remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
又在骗我们了。
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Eh?
No.
这里吗？
You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
是往这里走吗？哎，又来到这里嘞。
No, not again, Line. How could you have done
又来
this to
到那
us?
个
And after we trusted you, of
监视器的
everything
房
we've
间
been
了。
through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
每次都在重启，线还在。
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever
还要
done
调
for
皮
us?
了。
We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
哪个？现在旁白帮我们开门。437的办公室。437的办公室也太大了吧
This is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
哎，是不是又 loop 啦？哎呦，
Go wild.
哎屁啊，我们在绕圈圈哎。
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready.
哦，不是了，终于不是了。旁白到底是？
Oh no, not you
海盗。
again, Stanley. I'd
黄
also
色
like
线
to
又出
veto
去
the
了。
line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
我们再跟着黄色走吧，黄色线走。哎，黄色线又不见了。这里是哪？
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
这是左边
How
跟右边。
important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
哪边？右边的混乱结局。这是什么结局？
Oh, hold up, what's this? The
第一次
confusion
重启
ending.，
这是重
You're
启。
telling me that's what this
但是
is?
第四次。
It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all
我们
determined?
现在在第5次，
Now, according to the schedule, I restart again.
第4次重启
Am I
了，然
just
后
supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to
找
forget?
到混乱结局时间表。我们现在在这个找到混乱结局时间表这边。
Wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't
然后
you
接下来是第
decide?
5次、第6
Why
次、
don't
第
I
7、第
get
8
a say
次
in。all of this? Is it really?
嗯，
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be
我们下一
trapped
次
like
旁白
this.
就会
I
忘记所有
won't
事情。
restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the
哎呦
timer
哎呦哎呦！
stopped. Does that mean did we
哎
do it? Did we break the cycle?
结果现在连发生那个
Whatever it is
旁白
that
都
made
不知
this
道
schedule.
发生什么
How
事
would。we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
连旁白也不知道发生什么事。
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
哎呦哎呦哎呦哎呦！干吓我一跳哎！我还以为是什么声音哎。
To business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
左边这个门进去过了嘛？那我们继续向前走走看好了。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
这是
ago.
什么制图区吗？啊，我们现在要往哪走？
Look, Stanley, I think
开
perhaps
始了。
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
我们可以往下
I
跳
realize
吗
that？ investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you
这是要往下跳吗？
Someone you've forgotten.
往下跳。
Please.
跳。
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration
诶，
for
是往这边
others?
跳吗？
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your
这边
side.
呢？
Give me a chance.
危险，危险无处不在。
Now listen carefully, this
诶
is，important.
红色、蓝色，
Stanley walked through the red door.
红色的门啊！可是我想要走蓝色的。我们这一次全部都听，都不听。哎，
Perhaps you misunderstood.
哎
Stanley walked
哎，
through the red door.
等一下，黄牌把我们给传送回来了。我要走蓝色的。
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
红色的门，可蓝色的门在我们身后啊。
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
我们看一下蓝色的门到底有什么。
You see?
哎呦，这里是哪
There's？ nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Eh?
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this
这边
is
真的
what
没
you
东
wanted to
西耶。
see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go.
Ayo.
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead,
第三
Stanley.
道门
Take
欸
it for a spin.
木头门，第三道是木头门。
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say
这里是
that
哪
the
里？
game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
请根据您的感受做出评价。什么评价？给5星满评。
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come
给你
from?
5颗星。
How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this
有
one.
个新的
Let's
版本
take。a look.
哎呦，他每次都一直把我那个瞬移传送。
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
要给你五分。
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
还要给我们玩什么新的游戏？
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very
有个小
meaningful
婴儿。
game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the
按了
message
这
of
个
the
是什
game
么？
only becomes clear once you've been playing it for
玩
about
4个
4
小时。
So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
怎么玩4个小时才有结局哦？
Experience.
哎，不是吧？我要玩4个小时吗？
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not
这
even
我
going
觉得
to try.
真的有人会去
I'm
挑
out.
战4个
I'm
小
done.
时哦。
It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely
4个小时后搞不好真的有
Oh, hey,
结
since
局
my。game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
旁白又有新的游戏要给我们玩，靠背啊！
At last, the one thing you've always desired, a game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it
等一下，
enough?
这样真的没问题吗？
Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill
直接变麦块了。
purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
可是我们不能跳起来。
This will go here. No, here. And then...
旁白开始在盖房子了，我们还是不能跳啊。
Let's see, what does it need? Yes,
突然变麦块。
of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete.
盖的太简陋了吧？这根本就不是房子啊！
Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy.
上面的云真的会动它真的是把麦块的程式码塞到这游戏里面来了吗？
Make yourself comfortable.
画风超突变，马上1秒变麦块。
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect?
我们被关在这里了。
Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond.
用钻石
Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
我们去采矿，可是我没有工具呢。这 BGM， 这 BGM 是麦块里面的吗？好像是个，又好像不是。我怎么记得麦块 BGM 不是？对，曲调是，可是他不是直接拿麦块的那个 BGM 来用。我们只能往下走了。
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
我没有火把啊，你有火把吗？只能一直往下走。
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear.
摔下来都
Something
没
that
有
makes
伤
you
害
feel。utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5.
哎呦，
Even diamonds couldn't
那
save
是什么
this one.
怪
Okay,
僵尸的
you
声
game.
音吗？我们又重启了。我们这次是什么游戏？啊靠！
Yes, I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
我们变成传送门了
Trapped in a
啦！
glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out.
我们不能够跳，也没有。
Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
怎么直接又变传送门？等一下，这游戏的版权真的没问题吗？这游戏是 V 社自家出的吗？不是吧？我不记得这游戏是 V 社自家出的啊。可我记得这边好像应该就会有拿到一个简单的那个。
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley.
这边要掉方块啊！
Forte.
突然变，
Genius.
感方就应该是有版权同意，对啊。他这个真的是完全照搬那个传送门这电梯
Actually, you know what?
哎
I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble.
我还没进去电梯耶！哇，等，我们又掉到奇怪的地方了。这款游戏真神，对啊，这款游戏也是在一直打破第4面墙。我们没有，我们要往哪里走？他没提示给我们。 啊，这里是哪？也不知道。我们走到423，哎，有灯，有灯。我们往灯的这边走。这里又是哪里？哎，画面又黑了。
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
这是下雨声吗？是不是有下雨声音？哎，真的在下雨哎！哎，真的可以哎！外面它没有建模啊。我们就卡在窗台这边了。哎，等，靠着边边好像可以往外移。哎呦，好吧，一片白。哎，等下。哦，游戏的一部分啊。
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the
这也是设计好的。然后就想用怎么会突然有雨声？有窗户有雨声。
Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we
还在
just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
你讨厌这笑话吗？不会啊，不会讨厌。
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever.
旁白好多话哦。
Cheers.
所以嘞，我们现在还要继续选否？
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible.
我们刚刚是跳到那个这个里面嘛，我们跳到这边。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
啊，我们如果直接往下跳，哎，
Really, I'm not.
直接往下跳跳看。
Investing your trust in someone else can be
可以跳哎。
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do,
跳下来就死了。
Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very
王霸之气。
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
啊？他讲他哎，
This is it,
女生的
Stanley.
她是谁啊？
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
她是谁？老板是女的哦。啊，这上面是黑黑的。哎呦！
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To
女生
reach
旁
out
白
to
吗？
her. If you can truly place your faith in another,
要接吗？要
then
接
pick
吗？
up the phone.
我可以把电话线给拔掉吗？
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him.
我把电话线的电源拔掉了。
But with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
我们又破坏游戏了。
No, it's definitely
我们又把那个
Tuesday.
旁白给
Stanley picks
搞
up the
到。
phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his
梯
wife,
子欸
and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in.
接起
fade to
电话
white,
会
roll credits.
到公寓，然后
Not
找到
picking
他的
up the
妻子
phone。is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed
我们还
it
发现什
sooner?
么？
You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
我不是 Stanley， 我是一个真正的人。
I can't believe I
哦，
was
对
so
啊。
mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol.
旁白开始在打破
real-world
第四面
decision-making.
墙了。
Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous.
我们在
For
看什
example,
么？
in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations.
我们
Or
被
he
强
could
迫看了一
systematically
个
set
教学
fire
影
to
片。
every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational
假设。
logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8?
每天都做出
Less?
8个选择。
And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
为什么我这房间怎么变这样了？所以我们现在只能往他把那个破梯加围栏呢，他不让我们跳下去啊。
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story.
他不让我们自杀啦。
That would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately,
想办法跳下
this
去。
space is not well equipped to deal with reality. Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
他一直要我们打开左边的门，就那个二选一，这里是二选一的
Now
房。
remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That
你
means
只要和
choosing
Stanley 做一
responsibly
样的事。
and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
啊，我们如果再去右边呢？
No! Why
哎呦，
did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other
这
direction.
什么？
Perhaps we're not too late.
整个进左边的，我们到左边看一下。哇，会议室也是会。
I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why?
会议室也
For
穿
what?
模了。
What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing
我们
the
可以
game
跳过去
undone,
吗？
left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge.
What?
I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work?
游戏全部都那个。
What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I?
旁白好像崩溃了。
I have to shut the game down.
啊，要关掉游戏哦。
I have to.
哎呦哎呦哎呦哎呦！怎么了？怎么了？不是重新开始吗？我们还在会议室啊。
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With
哎，这不是会议室。
you, who thought
这也
you were
是
so
哪？
clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of
真
you.
幼稚！
You're a
我被骂幼稚了。
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
哎，
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means
重新
choosing
开始。
responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
我们一样走右边呢。
he entered the door on his left.
我们一定要选左边吗？我想要继续走右边呢。看一下，
No! Why did
又
you
来
do
了，
that?
又来了。
Quickly, hurry.
哎，
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means
又
choosing
重新了。
responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
我们一直选。等一下，我看一下。
No! Why did
对啊，
you do
还是一样啊。
Quickly, hurry.
他旁白一直把我们游戏切掉，要我们重启的意思啊。哇，真的诶，旁白也坏了，旁白坏了，我们重启游戏吧。玩到旁白坏掉了，哈哈。他一直响不停诶，到底有没有不接的结局啊？还是只能把它接起来了？哎呦，画面变白。427，
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry.
427不是我们办公室吗？
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
哎呦，
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a love?
旁白要骗我们啦！哎呦，
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get
醒
you
醒
to
吧，
see
你根本就没有老婆。
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
哎啊，我老婆也不见了。醒醒，你没有老婆。
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
什么意思？ 427号员工在你的键盘上按下 P 键 ，P。
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
浅去死
Pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
所以这个游戏怎样子算好结局？然后等待输入我们的房间，输入已结束，哎，马上就跳到结局了。哎呦，这里是哪里啊？哈哈，这个是结局吗？这应该是彩蛋。把门关起来。
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will
把门
break
关起来
me.
好像有个结
And
局。
here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes. Let me prove
啊，
it.
这里
Let
啦，
me
这
prove
里我
that
们还
I'm
没有
on your side.
还没有进去
Give me
红
a
色的。
chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
我们这里还没有走过红色的门。
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time?
对，红色门里面
The
有什
problem
么
is？all these choices.
也开始在
The two of us always trying to
也
get
开始在
somewhere
绕
that
圈
isn't
圈啦。
here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we
一直
just
在绕圈圈呢。
stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
有新的门吗？新的门，
What do we want?
这里是
What
哪
are？ we looking for? Here.
哦，
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
这什么宇宙空间？我们还可以回去耶。
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
这上面有什么？我们可以从这边下去吗？
No!
哦，摔伤了。
Thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment.
去哪个房间？
Now, can we please get back to the other room?
我会比较在意这个门啊，这个门到底能不能开？
Is it
哎呦
over?
哎呦，这是什么？
Going to restart.
哎，我们真的死嘞！
I'm going back.
哎，跳第3次，还跳第4次就死了。这里了，这里，我们 Stanley 旁边的这里。哎嘿，好黑哦！奇怪的地方，出口，逃生舱发射区，逃生通道，往这边吗？我们的确有在前进啊。你看我们在后退啊，而前面一片黑黑的，根本就看不到。我们就这样一直后退吧。 哎，画面黑了。哎，这样是也算结局吗？哈哈哈，这样也算一个结局哦。